Hello, Unbrick Me here, and today I will be ranking every single LEGO Technic set of 2022. All prices for each set will be the updated ones after the price increase. Without any further ado, let's begin. Here we have the LEGO Technic Formula E Porsche 99X Electric set number 42137. When this set was first announced by LEGO, I welcomed it with open arms. I have always dreamed of getting pullback motors in larger sets. However, adding pullback to the $50 cars came with a lot of compromises, such as the lack of steering, openable doors, or really any other functionality. This car also didn't appeal to many Technic fans, since most preferred the pullback Mustang. Personally, I would modify this car to have a steering mechanism that returns to center with rubber bands. That way, you can play with the car normally, but it would still go in a straight line when using the pullback feature. This set still has some redeeming qualities yet to be discussed. For example, this car came with a release lever for the pullback functionality. That way, you could simply push down the lever whenever you wanted to, instead of having to hold and release the entire car. This functionality reminds me a lot of the LEGO Racer set from 2010, where you stomp down and launch the cars with air. Furthermore, this car came with a phenomenal augmented reality app. Prior to this, AR was seen in the Mercedes-Benz Z-Tros trial truck, which allowed you to view the mechanisms without taking apart the model. LEGO has taken that idea and implemented it in an even better way here. You could do fun challenges, races, and much more with the augmented reality app. It is highly underrated by the Technic community, and I think you should absolutely use it if you decide to get either of the $50 pullback sets. LEGO Technic is truly the most fascinating theme ever, and by subscribing to my channel, you will become the undisputed king of LEGO Technic. No pressure though, no pressure. Next up is the LEGO Technic Volvo Wheel Loader set number 30422. This polybag contains only 69 pieces, and it was a promotional item available at LEGO stores. Despite being so small, this set contained a surprisingly large amount of Technic functionality. By spinning the 8-tooth gear at the top, you could raise or lower the bucket. The mechanism uses a worm gear setup, and it is truly fascinating how such a small set is able to integrate functionality. It is actually more functional than many larger sets. LEGO Technic should definitely keep making polybags, since they provide a great introduction into the world of LEGO Technic at a low price point. Here we have the Monster Jam El Toro Loco as well as the Monster Jam Megalodon sets. I put these together simply because they're not different enough, and if I ranked them separately, I would be repeating myself a lot. These are the successors to the Monster Jam sets of last year, and I definitely think that the Megalodon is the best Monster Jam pullback ever. I love sharks, and this one looks so menacing. Of course, these pullbacks have that front bumper. It's inaccurate to the real-life counterparts, and removing them would change nothing. I have modified some of mine to remove these, and they still function the same while looking 1,000 times better. I have actually used a lot of the Monster Jam El Toro Loco sets for a pullback race, and the winner got $700 worth of free LEGO. Please click the card in the top right corner if you would like to see that competition in action. Next up is the LEGO Technic Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 set number 42138. Personally, I believe this car looks phenomenal, and it has a lot of great aspects. I love the pullback functionality, but much like the pullback Porsche, it came with a lot of compromises. There aren't any openable doors, and there is no steering. I greatly appreciate how you can actually modify the rear and have it be either a complete rear or have the pullback lever instead. It provides you with options, but you can easily lose something. For example, I lost the lever, and while I can still use the pullback functionality, it is not the best experience. Another con of this car is that the front decorations here are only connected with one pin, making them loose. After play, you definitely have to put these back in their original positions before displaying the car again. This car also came with a phenomenal augmented reality app, which is absolutely incredible. While I certainly love the pullback functionality, it comes with a lot of compromises, making the cars overpriced at $50. I definitely think that LEGO should not make larger pullback sets anymore and go back to having actual mechanisms like engines, steering, winches, and more. LEGO Technic is all about mechanisms, and the Jeep Wrangler or the McLaren Senna GT-R provide much better value for the price of $50. Here we have the LEGO Technic John Deere 9620R 4-wheel drive tractor. This set costs $35 and contains 390 pieces, which is solid value. There is a basic dumping functionality as well as the hand-of-God steering mechanism using a turntable setup. Besides that, this set doesn't have any mechanisms or really anything special besides the John Deere license. I think that this set should have been much bigger. Imagine if this set were the same size as the Claas Zeron tractor. That would have allowed the John Deere tractor to incorporate much more advanced functionality. Maybe it could have had some pneumatic functionality or even having a motorized gearbox. I think that this set is a great parts donor. For $35, you get 4 Jeep Wrangler tires and a bunch of green panels. I think that the Hovercraft from last year was a much better set, since it had a similar price tag, but it contained a lot more impressive mechanisms. Still, if you like tractors, then this set will be a satisfying purchase. The Telehandler 4133 is an exceptional set. It doesn't even look like a Technic set, but rather a Mindstorm set. The combination of light blue, black, and white is very similar to the color scheme of the Robot Inventor set. Despite being only $13, it contains hand-of-God steering as well as a boom elevation function. This is an example of how to make cheap Technic sets. This telehandler looks phenomenal and has great functionality. I think a fun challenge would be to make a larger version of this exact telehandler with LEGO Mindstorms. In 2008, LEGO actually made a very large telehandler with power functions, motor upgradability, and a gearbox. I really hope that LEGO makes an updated version of that telehandler. Maybe it should even be fully remotely controlled with control+. Next up is the wonderful chopper motorcycle set number 4132. In terms of aesthetics, I still prefer the telehandler, but when it comes to the functionality, this one blows the telehandler out of the water. It retails for the same price of $13, and despite being so small, it actually has a working 3-cylinder inline engine. The pistons are actually tiny half pins, and it's such a creative building technique. I never thought that something like this was even achievable in the world of LEGO Technic. It has steering, a chain, and much more. I also greatly appreciate that this set actually includes a B model. B models have been completely removed from larger Technic sets, so it's always welcomed whenever B models are still included. Here we have the LEGO Technic McLaren Formula 1 race car set number 4141. This is definitely the best Formula 1 car in terms of aesthetics. I love the use of different panels and the overall color scheme. I think it captures its real-life counterpart absolutely perfectly. There is just something magical about Formula 1 cars. The best part of the set is easily the pushrod suspension, since it's such a rare mechanism in LEGO Technic. The suspension is fully independent on all 4 wheels, and there is a Technic linker that transfers vertical motion into horizontal motion. This is how the shock absorbers remain connected to the wheels despite being placed horizontally. There is also working steering which is connected to the yoke. Unfortunately, there is no hand-of-God steering, and I wish that were included. There is also a V6 engine, but unfortunately there is no transmission or gearbox of any kind. The car has a lot of hollow, empty space inside, so there could have easily been a gearbox. It is very similar to the Ferrari 488 GTE because both of these are display pieces with the empty chassis. I managed to modify the Formula 1 McLaren so that it is fully remotely controlled by using that empty space. Next up is the LEGO Technic Ferrari Daytona Sp3 set number 4143. This is the 4th one of the supercar series started in 2016. It comes with 3,778 pieces and retails for $450. This is severely overpriced since the Cat D11 Bulldozer actually came with more pieces, retailed for the exact same amount before the price increase, and contained all of the electronic components. The Ferrari Daytona featured the exact same gearbox seen in the previous Lamborghini, but this gearbox came with a few updated gears to reduce friction, or maybe just to make these gears more common. Furthermore, this set uses 4 shock absorbers that were introduced in the BMW motorcycle, and this is a much better setup than having to use 2 skinny shock absorbers. On top of that, this set actually came with brand new differential gears. One of these brand new gears simply fits onto the casing of the 5-bevel gear differential introduced in the Top Gear rally car, and this is absolutely groundbreaking. Now you can build much larger mocks with these differentials without having to worry about them breaking. I also love all of the impeccable detailing on this car. It is absolutely phenomenal, and designer Uwe Wabra did a fantastic job. This set also launched alongside the limited edition designer book, and only 5,000 copies of these were sold. Fortunately, I managed to get my hands on one of these books, and my copy number is actually in the 700s, so I was one of the first people to get this book. I will have a full review of this book and the car very soon, so make sure to subscribe. Here we have the LEGO Technic Material Handler. This set is basically an unlicensed, red version of the EW160E with a few downgrades. For example, this set completely lacks motor upgradability, unlike the EW160E, which was compatible with the Power Functions accessory box. Furthermore, the steering gear on the material handler is in the wrong place. It's at the front instead of the back. This makes rolling the set forward very unergonomic. Of course, you can just spin the superstructure around 180 degrees to get the gear at the back. But now the problem is that when you turn it, the rear pair of wheels turns instead of the front one, which is still a very unpleasant experience. An easy fix for this would be to just add a longer axle in the chassis and put the steering gear on the opposite side. I will definitely be modifying the set so that it is much easier to play with. But why is the set ranked so high if I have so many issues with it? Well, you simply can't beat pneumatics. It is an iconic feature of LEGO Technic that has been around since 1984, and playing with pneumatics is always extremely fun. I think that the main reason why many fans didn't like this model is because of the price. $150 for the material handler is definitely overpriced. At most, it should have been $100 since it has only 835 pieces and no motorized functions. The heavy-duty tow truck of last year retailed for the exact same amount before the updated pricing, and it contained 2017 pieces, way more gears, much more advanced functionality, a working engine, exceptional detailing with the panels, and much more. Even with LEGO's price increase, it retails for $160, which is only $10 more than the material handler, while offering much better value for the money. Next up is the All Terrain Vehicle 4139. This is an exceptional set and a true example of what all Technic sets should be like. It retails for $90, contains 764 pieces, and includes a working transmission. That's right! Despite being so small, it actually has a 2-speed gearbox. I go crazy for gearboxes, and it seems like this set was made for me. I have always been asking for more sets with gearboxes under $100, and I really hope that LEGO Technic pushes forward in this direction. Furthermore, this set has 6 Jeep Wrangler tires, a winch, a chainsaw, 2 differentials, a ton of gears, and a large amount of panels, making it an exceptional parts donor. If you want to have the best possible experience with LEGO Technic, while also not paying that much, this is the best choice for you. The Transformation Vehicle 4140 is an example of how to make a small, remotely controlled set. It came with 772 pieces, which is much more than the Top Gear rally car or the off-road buggy. Furthermore, you don't just drive it around, you can actually transform it. This model can flip so that you can either use the blue or orange color scheme. On top of that, you actually get a pair of shock absorbers so that the cabins can move to their respective positions upon flipping the model. The model uses the control+Hub's gyroscope to flip the controls in the app, making the user experience seamless. This is definitely the single greatest small remotely controlled set LEGO has ever done. Next up is the 4130 BMW M1000RR motorcycle. It is so awesome and easily the single greatest motorcycle ever made by LEGO Technic. It has a phenomenal 3-speed transmission, and the shifting mechanism is essentially the same one as used in the supercars, but this one never gets jammed due to the lack of a stepper mechanism. This set is the ultimate example of pushing LEGO Technic to its absolute limits. I love how this motorcycle, despite being so focused on displayability, actually comes with so many mechanisms, suspension, and it's a great playing experience with this LEGO Technic set. It is so awesome, it's truly the perfect representation of what LEGO Technic is all about. LEGO Technic should not be all about displayability like the Ferrari 488 GTE, but rather it should always be about mechanisms first, and then having the displayability as the second priority, not the first one. Before I reveal the number 1 pick, I would like to give an honorable mention to the LEGO Technic Batman Batmobile 4147. The reason it's an honorable mention is because, despite it technically being a 2022 set, it was actually officially released in 2021. It contained 2 light bricks, and it brought back the clear engine pieces, something that has been missing from LEGO Technic since 2006. The Hand of God steering knob is quite unique, since it also doubles as a button which activates the engine light. Despite all of the criticisms about this car lacking functionality, I think that this is one of the best LEGO Technic sets because of the value it provides. It is one of the only sets unaffected by LEGO's price increase, so it still retails for $100. Furthermore, it contains 1,360 pieces, which means it has a price to parts ratio of only 7.4 cents per piece. Finally, at number 1, we have the LEGO Technic Airbus H175 rescue helicopter. In terms of having a legendary status, this set is easily the next 8043 motorized excavator. Much like the 8043, this helicopter has solidified its position as a groundbreaking set. First of all, it reintroduced the basic powered-up battery box. It was originally launched in the Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, but because that set was cancelled, the powered-up battery box was never widespread until now. Furthermore, this set actually combines two different types of gearboxes, a transmission as well as the multi-directional gearbox. The propeller has two different speeds, and the multi-directional gearbox is used for deploying the landing gear as well as controlling the winch. The gearbox itself is a wonder, but that's not what makes this set truly groundbreaking. For the first time ever in the history of LEGO Technic, we have gotten a helicopter swash plate mechanism. This allows you to control the pitch and roll of the helicopter from the cabin while the propeller is spinning. The blades constantly have their angles change so that the lift is greater in a specific area of the whole propeller. The swash plate allows you to control exactly where specifically the blades will change their angle and just how much they will change their angle. This is exactly how a real helicopter changes direction, and I'm so glad that LEGO was able to bring such an important aspect into one of their models. You can learn more about this exact helicopter by clicking on the video right over here. This is your Brick Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.